power wishbone set. They hand the ball. Oh no, Saber and faked it. Keeps it himself to the left sideline and into the end zone for the touchdown.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Cadets Coach's Corner. This week I sat down with head men's rugby coach Bob Weggler as the Cadets are off to a 3-1 conference record in the newly formed New England Collegiate Rugby Conference. All right, Coach. Well, thank you for joining us. You guys are on the heels of a tough loss last weekend, but overall 3-1 in the new conference. So, what's the experience been like so far this season?
The boys have been working hard, and unfortunately we did lose on Saturday against Coast Guard, which is a rival with us because of the military association. But every game we always learn from, and we watch the video, we self-correct, and each and every week we learn from our positives and both negatives in our matches, and we move forward. So this group has been very resilient to self-correction, and also at the same time have moved forward and improved each and every week. So we expect we'll learn from Saturday's match. We're hoping if we stay on course and prepare ourselves and work hard in practice this next 2 weeks, that we'll be in the playoffs. So anything can happen. So all our guys have showed up at practice, been mentally ready during practice. Yesterday's practice on Monday is usually sort of a light practice, but it wasn't. We talked about what we need to do this next week for our next match, which is Tufts. So this particular group is really good at working at one day at a time, not looking ahead. So I'm not happy, and the team's not happy with the loss, but there's been a lot of self-correction, things that we've learned from what we did do well on Saturday, and things that we need to change to make us better.
Now, when we talked in the preseason, it seems like so long ago now, you said last year was a bit of a letdown, not making the playoffs, but this year, again, you guys are well on your way. So just from year to year, what do you think has been the biggest difference?
I think this team is really has solidified themselves as a team. They've taken on new players, they've taken on the younger players, and real good camaraderie and focus at practices, and I think that's been a huge help to us this year. We don't have any superstars. We're collectively playing as a unit.
Also now, we saw the women play Army, you guys play Coast Guard. What is that, how does that pump you guys up to play another military rival? What do you think it does for your guys' programs to expose yourselves that way?
I think for our guys, we know it's going to be a hard game. They're a military-minded school that also has values and integrity associated with their school. It's not just an academic institution that has rugby, but it's an academic institution that has rugby, but also it's a service. It's a service school that's going to serve the country. So for that, there's some commonality, and we know it's going to be a hard-fought battle.
Long Ding, a lot of people probably asked you about him. Obviously he was a star of the football team, and everyone knows that, but he's really transitioned to rugby well. What has he brought to your team?
He's brought a real calming effect. His personality is fantastic. He gets along with everyone. He works hard in practice. He's a real professional. This past Saturday, he was banged up, was only about 60%, so you notice he didn't do any kicking this particular week because of his injury, but he got out there and did the best he could. So he's been a real asset to the team in terms of bringing professionalism to practice and just his overall good personality.
Another thing we talked about in preseason was you were really impressed with the leadership you have on your team. What have been the role of the captain so far this season, and how impressive you've been with your upperclassmen?
This particular year, we have a lot of seniors have been with the program for 4 years. We have 9 4-year seniors, And the captains, Chris Hine and Matt Maloney, have been with the program for 4 years, have played in high school before they came to Norwich. Chris Hine, Archbishop Spalding in Maryland, and Matt Maloney at BC High. And those guys have, in their 4 years, have experienced successes and not have completed what they wanted. Like 2 years ago in the playoffs, we lost our first match, and last year not getting to the playoffs. So these guys understand what it takes. They've experienced wins and losses, and their goal is to make it to the Sweet 16 and work for that goal.
All right, last question. We'll get you out of here on this. Again, big conference matchup on the road against Tufts this weekend. And real quick, what's the key to the game this weekend?
We just need to execute. This past Saturday against Coast Guard, we were in a position to win the game, but when it came down to it, we didn't execute at the times we needed to push it over for that final victory. So we worked a lot on just really fine-tuning our game. We have a real good foundation, but we just need to be attention to detail for the rest of the season.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for joining us, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.